You wrote to me and said, I want to talk about how the Niners can beat the Eagles in all three phases. So why don't we do it like this? You make the case for how the Niners can just dominate the Eagles in a certain phase, and I'll bring up. I won't disagree because I think the Niners.
No, argue it. Yeah, bring up
But I'll
counterpoints.
ask you
Let's
questions
hash
because
this out.
I'm really impressed with the Eagles, maybe too impressed. And listening to Kyle Shanahan today, now it's a coach's job to talk up the opposing team, but he genuinely seemed impressed by them too in the same ways that I was. So let's talk it through. Do you want to start? However you want to start.
Yeah, I'm reminded about Tom Brady every time they ask him, "What do you think about the opposing team defense?" Oh, they're young, mobile, a lot of talents,
well coached.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
They set the edge, exactly, just butters them up. But I was impressed with how the Eagles responded. The third and fourth quarters, they steamrolled the Falcons.
Yeah.
However, I want to talk about the first quarter in particular. I said it was one of the ugliest games I had ever seen. I was going to go watch the Bengals game over this. And it was just, but I had to stick with it because we're playing them and things like that. But
it was really low scoring in the first quarter, right? It was like,
yeah, because neither team had the compunction to be able to score in the red zone. I mean, it was pathetic, to be honest with you. But here's one of the things. We're not going to talk about the Falcons, but one of the things I noticed about the Eagles, and this could be first game blues, it could be a trend. We'll find out in this game. This is going to tell their fan base who their team is, how they play against us. Mm-hmm. Darius Slay had a horrible game. There's no other way of putting it. In his first half, he missed tackle after tackle after tackle. I cannot wait to see what Juszczyk and Debo's going to punk him. If he gets him one-on-one out in the flat, he's going to stiff arm him and run him over. Kittle, he'll Falcon punch. That's what he will do. Okay. And I would love to see him try to set the edge or make a flat tackle against Trey Lance.
I see. So the Niners are going to get those deep cornerbacks tackling.
Exactly. I think Kyle Shanahan sees it, and I think he will dial up plays. And we'll talk about Ayuk later. I need him to be active. I want lots of passes his way. Not necessarily this game. Now, he's got great yak. I think he was the leader in college football with yak in his senior year.
Yeah.
But Debo is a different kind of yak. He's more on the side. He's like an Ayuk and Kittle hybrid. Yeah. He's just mean. And the way he runs people over, that is what I will look to see for the Eagles. Now, I saw 3 different plays in the first half where they missed 4 tackles.
Wow.
That I was sitting there going 1, 2. It was like watching pinball. It looked like watching kids play. And it was like at that point the game was unwatchable. And it resulted in a field goal for the Falcons. So that tells you where the Falcons are. They are in a rebuild mode. So don't read too far into the score that they ran up on them. I mean, even Pitts, I think, number 8, I think, is that what he's wearing for them? He had a terrible game. There's no other way to put it. He looked lost out there. I don't know if that's Matt Ryan's fault. The play calling, the offensive line play was lousy. These are the things that the 49ers are going to have to exploit, is the Eagles' inability to seal up a tackle. They can't finish a tackle right now. But it could have just been game 1. And that's what we're going to find out in this next game. One of the other things that we should probably do is do some reverses, some RPOs, and some play action in the backfield. And the reason I say this is the one Falcon who began to have a good game was Cordero Patterson. Mm-hmm. Now, we all know him. He's just a beast. He refuses to go down and tackle. He's just a great all-around kind of football player kind of guy. Mm-hmm. He ran the Eagles over on his first 3 carries. It was gorgeous. He's nowhere near the running back that Mitchell or Hasty or the other guys we have are going to be. And I hope Trey Sermon will be active because I would like to see his bruiser self go straight at the Eagles. But the one place they have to avoid is Fletcher Cox and Hargreaves. Mm-hmm.
These guys,
they're not pushovers. No. I completely disagree with PFF that Cox is better than Buckner. That's a farce. I don't get that. But Cox is number 2 to Buckner. He is a good player. He can get home. Hargreaves actually had a little bit of a better game because he's faster, which means he got to the quarterback more often than Cox. But Cox is the one who pushes the pocket. For 49ers fans, he is their Justin Smith. Mm-hmm. That's the role he takes. He kills the run up the middle. So don't try these little things they did with Trey Lance what were they running him up the middle for?
I don't know.
I don't get that. That was so weird. It's like, hey, hit our quarterback.
Yeah, hey, please hit our quarterback. Yeah, that was good.
So to me, that was really weird. So these are the things we should exploit with them. Again, with the pass defense, it's kind of hard to say the Eagles' pass defense is lights out because they were playing Matt Ryan in an anemic offense. I don't see enough from that to know how we can test Darius Slay, because I know Darius Slay, he's had some good play in his career.
I mean, it seems to me like this team has a really good pass rush and corners who can cover. And like they got Slay's really good in coverage. Their free safety, Anthony Harris, is a hell of a safety. It seems to me that the Niners need to be able to run the ball very effectively, and of course they can. They always can.
And they will. But they have to stick with that for time of possession, because they will have to treat this like a Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray game. We have no idea how inspired Jalen Hurts is going to play, but we have to play him.
He looked like Russell Wilson week 1. I'm sorry. He looks so good.
Yes, he looked very
so good.
And he adjusted. And the other thing is, he has a former Heisman winner on the outside.
Yes, he does.
So Devontae
played
Smith,
well.
However,
and he's got a nice running back too.
Let me ask you this question: what's his bench rep?
Devontae Smith?
Yes.
I don't know.
Did he ever do it?
Probably. I don't know.
So I went looking before the show. I found that he opted out of all on-field activities.
All right.
And here's why. He claims he's 170 pounds. No, he's not. He is smaller than me, and he's about 5 inches taller.
Yeah. He's good.
He's good, but
he's good though.
The way you beat a guy like that is to push him to the outside. And trying to remember what was it? Henry Ruggs in the Raiders game had a miserable first half and third quarter. They kept pushing him to the outside.
Right.
They pushed him over on one play. They didn't play him in excellent coverage. They punked him.
Yeah.
They took advantage of his lack of muscle and physical imposition, and they ran him over. That's how the Ravens covered him. They shut him down until the end. That one pass. This is how they have to play this guy. And we need to put our more physical, in-your-face corner over there. And it could be Mosley if he's healthy, but Lenoir seems to like to be physical at the line of scrimmage, and he's fast.
That's a tough matchup for Lenoir.
It is, but who do we have that can cover him?
No, you're right. That's the matchup, but that's a tough matchup.
We have to physically
You're right.
impose upon him.
But hold on,
we can't let him run his route.
Let me argue right now. Let me
go ahead.
argue right here, because I like the Eagles offense right now. It seems to me that you're right. Like the Niners can do a good job against the Eagles passing game, but what the Eagles passing game gets dangerous is when Hurts gets out of the pocket. He's okay. He'll throw quick passes, screens, quick passes from the pocket. But what happens is, I saw him do it a lot. He steps up very quickly in the pocket. He'll drop deep, and the defensive ends will go to where he sets up. But he steps up aggressively, and if there's an open hole to the right, he'll take it. And if the Niners give him that, what happens is he extends the play, and then Devontae Smith is running around, and it's very hard to cover these guys. Devontae Smith isn't that fast, but Jalen Reagor is. Kez Watkins, we're in like a 4-2. He went to Southern Miss. There's actually a lot of speed on this offense. And then there's Miles Sanders too on the check down. If the Niners can keep Jalen Hurd in the pocket and make him execute, they got Nick Bosa, they got D Ford. They can do very well. But as soon as he gets away, like out and to the right and away from Nick Bosa, he's got the advantage. So the Niners can't let that happen. I'm just saying.
So let me counter. Earlier you said maybe they should abandon the wide 9? Should they not stick with it?
Well, see how many yards they give up on the ground.
Because obviously it might seal Sanders, but will it seal Hurts?
Well, no.
Which one would you rather stop?
If you have 5 across the front, you still have a guy setting the edge. You just have an extra guy in the middle.
Yeah, but he did a lot of running. He has the ability to run up the middle effectively. So would you keep the wide 9 is what I'm asking you. If you're worried about him rolling out, would you not want to seal him?
I think I wouldn't go wide 9. I think I'd go 5-man front, because they're a run first team, and they're gonna run it right up the middle.
So we absolutely have to stop what's coming up.
You got to stop that. And then in terms of keeping him in the pocket, what I'm talking about is you can't let the defensive ends rush too far upfield. Like what you're telling them is to keep him in the pocket.
He steps up one big step and he's gone.
And what you're saying is don't worry about the pressure. Like he is raw in the pocket. Make him just be there and execute, because he could probably make one read throws or quick throws, but if he has to stay there and make full field reads from the pocket, he's going to make mistakes, or that's what you're banking on. Because you have a good defense. You have Fred Warner out there, Jimmy Ward out there. You have good players in coverage. I don't think you need to I just feel like if you sell out to get him, he's going to get out of the pocket. He's very quick, and he can break tackles. He's big. He looks like Trey Lance.
Yeah, he does. I agree with you to the point that they definitely the edge defenders, that might be where the game is won and lost.
Yeah,
they are the ones that are going to have to play within. They're going to have to stay in their lane, so to speak. Yep. They are going to have to set the edge in a way where they're not trying to track him down from behind, because then it's over. I mean, it's tackles can't chase down wide receivers.
If he's going to leave the pocket, he needs to back out of it and go around, because at that point, you got Nick Bosa, D Ford, Samson, guys who can run him down.
Horizontally, they can chase him down. Exactly. Bosa can chase any quarterback in the league down horizontally if they are in front of him.
Force him to back out of the pocket if he wants to get out. Because that may not go so well. Samson Ebby comes fast, but if he can front out of the pocket, you're screwed. So that's a big key for the Niners. Not to be over-aggressive with those defensive ends, not to get too far upfield. Because last year, if you remember, the Niners lost week 1 to Kyler Murray. And there was like a 3rd and 18 that they let Kyler scramble for like 20 yards. That was Nick Bosa rushing too far upfield. Kyler Murray dropped back, saw the big lane, and it was the easiest 20-yard run of his life. So it's on the DNs. Once the quarterback's out of the pocket, there's very little the defense can do. Very
well, he's going to break off at least one of these runs per game, kind of like Jackson did in Monday Night Football. But it's going to be on DeMeco Ryans if he can see this and adjust to it. And as for abandoning the wide 9, I don't know if a first-year defensive coordinator is willing to change his game plan. Do you?
Well, let me tell you something. I think the Eagles right now are a team that's maybe more committed to running their quarterback than any other team in the league. I saw the Ravens.
It's their secret weapon. That's not so secret.
It's what they want to do. And they're not paying him a lot of money. They're not committed to him. They need him. That's the only way they can win. So the last time the Niners faced a team like that was the Ravens in 2019. And in that game, they did not play wide 9. They had Nick Bosa standing up. They've had a 5-man front because what Saleh was saying is, well, we're playing 11-on-11 football today. And I think that's what the Niners are going to be doing on Sunday. They're going to be playing 11-on-11 football. I could be wrong. They did pass a lot in this game, the Eagles. He completed 27 throws, but yep. I don't know. If you play wide 9, you're just inviting the Eagles to run it right down your throat. Inviting them to. And Miles Sanders is a hell of a running back.
Yeah, and it's our weakness on the team is run defense.
Without Kinlaw, yeah. Ninerbot says, should I start Sermon this week? I would say no.
Don't start him, but he will play, I hope.
Yes, I think he will, but no. I would not start him. I think it's pretty clear.
I think it's Mitchell.
Yeah, Mitchell. I think the Niners prefer Mitchell and Hasty right now. So,
yes.
No. David Sir says, was there anything else you wanted to say about this matchup?
Oh, yeah. We pretty much went over it for the most part, but it's the number one thing the 49ers have to do is play very physical against the team. They've got some small players. They got some big players like Fletcher Cox, but they've got some weaknesses, I feel, in the physical realm on their offense and on their defense that the 49ers have to come to town and play. They need to be the meaner team here, plain and simple. They have to bully the Eagles into submission.
The Eagles don't have great linebackers, and I feel like the Niners should be able to run the ball. Like they should be, like the end around should work, the jet sweep. They should be able to run the ball and win this game and can totally control it.
That's the other thing. Time of possession. Here's the thing. If the Eagles want to establish their run game and that's how they want to beat us, go ahead and do it. But if we are establishing our run game and we are better passers, plain and simple, we have better offensive weapons, we're going to win this game on time of possession alone. We're going to run the clock out. In other words, Shanahan has to manage this game. Okay. If their run game is working, he has to make sure ours is as well. And he has to stick with it. He has to keep, just like Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, these kinds of quarterbacks, keep them on the sideline. That's where you want to see these mobile quarterbacks. So when they do come in, they don't have the time of possession to play with in the long run of the game to play their game plan out. Don't let Philly get in the driver's seat with this run game of theirs. That's my point.
Right. If the Niners get an early lead, then Philly has to play catch up and they're in a bad position. Absolutely.
And that's where D Ford and Nick Bosa come in.
Yep, absolutely. Is there anything else I wanted to say about this matchup? Guess not. I don't know. Oh, well. David Sir says, we should keep our defense off the field as much as possible by running out the clock. Just smash mouth football and nothing cute.
There we go. Thank you, David. That's all 49ers football.
Though, last key to this game. I think the Niners are going to need to play Trey Lance more than they did against the Lions. I understand you don't need to play it much against the Lions to beat them, and you can maintain the element of surprise. But if the Niners move the ball really well with their running game and stall out in the red zone consistently, they're going to lose. Because this team, when you have a mobile quarterback like Jalen Hurts, it's very dangerous in the red zone. That rushing threat really makes things easier for them. He scored 3 touchdowns in this game. Jimmy scored 1. If Jimmy's going to go out there and score 1 or 2 touchdowns a game and be efficient, that's not going to be enough. So I think when they do get into the red zone, they're going to need that same threat that the Eagles have, and the Niners, that's Trey Lance. So I would like to see 8. Whenever they're in the red zone, I want to see him on the field. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, I absolutely agree with that because he adds such a different dynamic to the team. And the thing is, Fletcher Cox and Hargreaves are a bigger threat to Jimmy Garoppolo because he's not as mobile and he's more of a pocket passer. That's what they do. They push the pocket right into your lap and then they seal you in. They collapse the pocket, basically.
Yes.
That's not something that works as well on Trey Lance if they're allowing Trey Lance to be himself and get outside of the pockets. And that's we did not see any of that in the first game. But again, I just don't want to read too far into that because it was the first game. Maybe Shanahan didn't feel that we needed to unleash the bag of tricks to beat the Lions.
That's what I think. But I think what would work really well right now for Lance, if you need it, is throwing play action. Because he made it real clear. Like the perception right now is you don't trust him to throw. And he's just going to come in and run. So if that's why, to me, the touchdown pass worked. No one expected him to throw. So do that again. One throw or two, and have it be for a touchdown.
Play calling is such a weird thing in the NFL because you've got that play. And when you call a play, it's not the play that you want to call then. It's a play that's the result of the plays you have called before then. The dekes, the runs to soften up the defense, to keep them honest, so you can dial up that end zone shot, basically, the home run.
Yeah.
I feel like Shanahan might be doing that with Lance a little bit.
I agree.
We'll see. I feel like he's like, run. Run.
Week 4.
Read pass option, play action, reverse, pass the ball.
He's setting something up. He works like weeks ahead. I absolutely agree with you. So I'm just kind of excited to see when he unleashes it. But the way I understand, this might be the most difficult game of the first 3. So this might be the one.
No, absolutely. If Aaron Rodgers is still in prima donna mode, we are going to smash the Packers.
Exactly.
And I am a firm believer. I've said it before. The 49ers, when they are healthy, are Aaron Rodgers' worst nightmare in the whole NFL. The reason being because he's not. They say he's mobile. No, he's not. He's got old man rickety legs. Look what the Niners have done to him. And the thing is, B. Ford and Nick Bosa are. It wouldn't matter if they were the best at their position. They are the best to harass Aaron Rodgers.
Yes,
we have the perfect team to smash them. And they have a good running back and everything like that. But it's not as dynamic an offense as the San Francisco 49ers, which is surprising given who coaches them.
Yeah. Timothy says, how do you effectively keep a quarterback in the pocket? Okay, we just talked about it. First of all, start the defensive ends not rushing too far upfield. But there's another thing.
Set the edge.
There's another thing. If you rush 4 and your defensive ends do their job, there's still a gap that the quarterback can escape from. 4 on 5. So what often you need to do if the quarterback's looking to get outside is bring a 5th rusher. You need to also rush 5. And then that means if you're rushing 5, you need to play man coverage with single high safety, which means you need Jason Verrett or some corners that you trust because they're not going to be getting much safety help. That's why Jason Verrett was so important. And that's what ultimately Robert Saleh did last year to contain Kyler Murray week 16. You bring that blitzer from the quarterback's right side. So to get away from it, he has to scramble left. And it's much harder to throw rolling left than rolling right. I'm just saying.
Absolutely. And I think it depends on what cover scheme you play as well. You have to decide how
nickel blitzes from the right.
Right, exactly. Yep. And what the linebackers are doing up the middle. Everybody has to basically take every lane away from him.
Yep. Once he gets out of the pocket, you're screwed. Like the quarterback spy who chases him down, you probably don't have someone who's fast enough. Your job is to keep him in the pocket.
Exactly, and that's why you don't overshoot the runway. You'll hear this in the NFL a lot. He overshot his assignment or he overshot the tackle. And that's what Grant was talking about earlier when the defensive ends, basically, it's almost like this sickle cut formation they do where they kind of circle out too far. And next thing you know, they're playing catch up from behind to where the quarterback is, which almost it's almost like busting quail out of the hedge. At that point, you're forcing them out. And that's when they get wired and they get free. And the linebackers, it depends on what their assignment is. Philadelphia will most likely use their tight ends coming across the middle to take our linebackers out as well. They will drop our linebackers into coverage. The other thing, I want to say one more thing. Jimmy Ward, how did you feel about his performance in Detroit?
I wasn't impressed with that tackle attempt that ended up in a miss. That was a touchdown.
Did you notice they were dragging him when he was tackling them?
Yes.
Did you notice where he was tackling them?
Yeah, he was like catching them.
Yeah, and they were dragging him like a rag doll.
That's what I saw from Eric Reed at the end. Like when Eric Reed first got here, he was hitting people, and then by the end,
he got concussions.
He was catching. he was catching and getting dragged. And I did see that from Jimmy Ward too.
Well, remember what Eric Reed said in public? Well, he got concussions. Remember,
Yes,
he hit so hard he hurt himself.
He got early, yeah.
Right. So that's what that was. I don't know what it is with Jimmy, but let's call that Jimmy's blues for the year. Let's see what he does in the Eagles game. But man, I was this close to feeling like, Jimmy, get in the weight room. He looks small too. Does he look smaller to you?
Maybe it's the single number. Maybe it's the single digit.
That's true. No, that's basic fashion. No, you might be right. Stripes. Yep.
501 Club Kenny says, what kind of defensive front does ATL use? He's a 4-3. Am I wrong?
I think you're right. Yep.
I'm right. Raymond Martinez Jr. says, for a team with an offensive genius, this needs to be the year where the offense carries a team. Yeah, great point. Defense is key, but Kyle needs to get in his bag because I don't know about this defense right now. No Verrett, no Kinlaw, maybe no Mosley. Yeah. No Buckner. It's got to be the offense this year. They need to score 35 points in this game.
Raymond is absolutely right. What he said, he needs to get into his bag of tricks. Yeah, he has to do that. Kyle needs to open his complete playbook up, regardless of whether or not people begin to study it. This has to be the year in which he just, let's see how smart you are, Kyle. We know you're this smart. Why play around with the opponent's defense? Steamroll them. Be merciless. Absolutely.
Agree. Keneal says, do you think Trey with scout team helps us versus mobile quarterbacks? Yes.
Absolutely.
2, Sermon's usage will grow with Trey's usage. He was shotgun zone retype back at OSU. Agree.
Great point.
Agree.
But I like what Keneal says there.